All right, so I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. My name is Yana and I'm the Marketing Director at US Analytics. We are a leading EPM and Analytics services firm. We refer to ourselves as the Picture Results Company due to the types of systems we build, implement, and support for our clients. Today we're going to be talking about our remote managed support services and introduce our new offering, RAS, Reporting as a Service. We understand that, under the current environment, your company may need additional resources when it comes to managing your technologies or supplemental staffing, and we're certainly here to help with that. These offerings will help streamline your admin teams, and you'll hear more about that in today's presentation. So we've got Scott Pressler, our President and CEO, joining us today to kick things off. And then our lovely presenters on this topic today will be Jennifer Kennard, and the Managing Director of Support Services, and Nair Ellis, the Reporting Services Manager. Just a quick run through of the agenda before we get started. Scott's going to cover the introduction on the state of managed support. Jennifer will speak on our approach and our support offerings, and Nair will introduce RAS and tell you all about it. Lastly, we'll discuss a few case studies from our clients. And to wrap things out, we'll do a Q&A session, so do make sure to use the questions box during the presentation as we're actively checking that. Before I hand the baton off to Scott, I'm going to launch a few quick poll questions for everyone to participate in, and then we'll jump right in. So Scott, I think we're ready if you want to take it away.
Yes, thank you, Yana. Welcome everyone to our lunchtime presentation, introducing both our firm and going more in depth on how we are supporting our clients in this difficult time. I hope everyone is safe. We are at US Analytics under shelter-in-place orders, probably like most of you all. And one of the things I look at, it's kind of proving our belief that clients can be supported remotely. And so with that, a little bit about our company. I am one of the original founders. We have been in this business over 20 years. The business has evolved dramatically from when it started, but we basically support our clients with advisory services, full life cycle development, and what we're going to talk about today is the ongoing support of these applications and solutions. This slide, as you see it today, is really my elevator pitch, trying to explain this unique industry to my friends and family and prospects possibly, but we build systems and support systems, allowing our clients to see into their past with financial close and consolidation, ongoing management and board reporting. We have a large team of analytic consultants who can build out also and help customers understand their present, various KPI reporting, analytic reporting, data science type initiatives. And then one of our largest areas is in the budgeting and forecasting area, which is obviously very critical today as we are going through an unexpected time. The ability for clients to understand how they can get their budgeting and forecasting properly is pretty important for them to survive. And so it's interesting times for us because we are in that business and we are supporting and also listening to a lot of clients right now and how we can help them. As I mentioned earlier, we have kind of a full suite of services from advisory. Clients don't know what they don't know. They might be moving into the cloud, and so they're looking at new technologies. Our teams have done those roadmaps, and for a lot of our clients, there are still a tremendous in North America, approximately 2,000-3,000 companies with systems in the prior era on premise. We have a large infrastructure team to still support them. The Oracle technologies have recently been rated up to 11.2 release, and so our teams are actively doing that for our clients. I mentioned full lifecycle implementations of these various technologies. We're seeing a lot of clients also wanting to migrate up to the cloud solutions. And then, of course, our support services and training. And today we're focused on our support services. Our clients, expect us to know what we're doing. And I'm very proud of our teams for their depth. We have Oracle ACEs, a lot of certifications, and we compete internationally for projects, and we were very successful in winning most of them. If you haven't been to our website in a while or ever, you'll find that we do spend a lot of time, energy in supporting our customers with tips and tricks. We build out a lot of guides, surveys. So if you're looking for something specific in this space, please feel free to go there and see what we've built, and hopefully we can support you at the very least with some of our guides. And lastly, a little bit about our clientele. Like I mentioned, we've been in business a long time. We've had the great fortune to work for a lot of different industries and a lot of large and small clients. Approximately on an average year, we'll support about 100 customers, around 200 projects, and currently over 50 customers in a support services capacity, averaging about 1 or 2 new clients a month. So the next phase of this agenda is I would like to talk to you a little bit about our managed support services, how we see that, the trends that we're anticipating and also hearing from our clients. It's an interesting position for me to be in, to see how this business and offering has evolved. When we first got in the business, a lot of our clients would keep our consultants on premise post delivery to support them while they were getting their administrative teams up to speed. We were doing that through our consulting teams. Now we have a dedicated team supporting our clients, in some cases 24/7. We've supported hundreds of customers, but I still would consider what we do a very niche space, even though we tailor every offering. The best practices of what we've learned, we roll out to all of our clients. We do adapt to needs, of course, but we've learned, I guess, proven techniques and processes that we feel are instrumental in making what we do successful. As we add more clientele, we do add teams and staff to our teams. We do now have primarily a US-based workforce, but we do have staff overseas also to kind of follow the sun, if you will. One of our unique capabilities that our clients have been asking for is that if there's any way that we can take some of the investment that they've made with us on a support contract and convert that to some project work. And so we have built that capability into our offering, and I think our clients really appreciate that. I think it adds a lot of value, and it possibly separates the question on, I don't want to waste any money with the organization. And so how do we not have, at the end of a contract, some of the investment not used? And we feel like this is one of the ways we can safeguard that with our clients. The other trend I see is that early on, most of the clients would hire administrators. Now what we're finding is clients are going right from the end of a development project and bringing our support teams in from the get-go. So we're seeing a lot of more clients, especially with cloud initiatives, understand that this is a viable option. What is managed support services? Good question. I wanted to start off with saying, we've been doing this a long time, and our branding around this and other companies in our space, it's a difficult thing to explain. I like this slide because it exposes all the different acronyms and terms and nomenclature we use internally to explain this to our clients. Every customer is different. And so quite frankly, with those different needs, we do and provide some things or all of our offerings, again, relative to their need and size. Our clients have told us a lot, and we polled them a lot and asked them, what is it about your organization or your current situation, and why would you want to leverage support services? What 2/3 of our clients have told us is they either don't have the staff, they couldn't find the staff, they didn't want to manage the staff, or they've had staffing cuts. And so I think that's the trend we're seeing, where our ability to now support them, in my opinion, in a better way, allows them to solve the problem that they have with this, which is, do we really need staff that have these kind of micro skills? Their options, other than a firm like ours, would be to hire in-house staff, or look at other managed service providers, or quite frankly, using a consultant, which we know can be very expensive. We're also intrigued why people buy from a firm like ours. And first of all, I'm proud of some of these answers. 57%, we have a good reputation in the market. We have the skill sets needed. And our pricing, 43% said our pricing is below what it would cost for them to do it in-house. When we ask them ultimately what they believe their savings were, a vast majority say 25 to 50% less than support providing that support in-house. So that's interesting to know. I think we're priced right. And lastly, the distinct value we hear time and time again is we do come in and assist with the reliability of these systems and processes. We have proven automation technologies and techniques. Most of the clients we develop on, we actually will implement that automation. And if we haven't built these systems, it's one of the first things we typically do with our clients is implement those enhancements. Even in the cloud, the releases for these products need to be validated and tested. And we provide that as a value to our clients. Our ability to grow and have the deep skill sets and even escalate to our consulting teams and first line engineers is a capability that most organizations don't have. As I've mentioned a couple of times, most of our clients feel that we're fraction of the cost of actually doing an internal. And we allow our clients to focus on business. In the event that their needs grow, we can scale. We have uptimes in a lot of our clients around 24/7. And in most cases, the hours, if not used, will be sat down and we can reflect with our client every year. Do we want to put some of this towards incremental enhancements on the application? So those are some of the values that we believe we've heard and we see with with this offering. The other exciting thing for our organization is outsourcing has been accepted universally, and finance and accounting departments alone have almost doubled the amount of tasks and responsibilities that they're given to organizations like ours. We're seeing that growth internally, and as we go year in year out, it's not quite exponential, but we're adding a couple projects, as I mentioned, a couple new clients per month. And so the growth internally kind of represents what the industry is seeing. So thank you for letting me introduce our company and the state of managed support. What I'd like to do now is hand the baton off to Jennifer Kennard, one of our leaders in this group. Jennifer?
Thanks, Scott. So what I wanted to talk about, our approach, as Scott referenced, well, we've been in the industry for a long time, so our approach has evolved over the years. Something important to note, the technologies that we support obviously have also evolved over the years. And for about 20 plus years, it was historically on-premise, EPM on-premise. So we have a long history of that. But about 5 years ago, we started supporting, from a support perspective, cloud offerings, and then most recently, OneStream. So we've added OneStream into our capabilities of offering support. And we'll see in more detail some examples of things that we do in that space. But primarily, we have our team, which I'll explain in more detail, has a lot of experience here. So our proven approach, our time-tested approach has been derived over the years by using 3 integrated pillars: people, process, and tools, and I'll cover these in more detail. We do provide scalable support to clients in our space, and while the support is tailored, how we execute and deliver the service is consistent, and we do that through our processes and documented processes and tools that we use. This foundation has proven successful, and many clients have continued support with us even through their upgrades to newer versions or their moves to the cloud. So we have several clients that we, let's say, have been involved with them in the early days of their HFM environment. For example, they moved to FCCS in the cloud, and we continue the support. We did some project work in between to help them get to the cloud, and then we continue support with them. So talking about our people, this is probably one of my favorite pillars of the 3 pillars is our people. Our team is solely dedicated to the support practice. And each of our team members brings unique skills. We are a combination of administrators, developers, implementers, infrastructure folks. We have some business professionals, CPAs, accountants, and FP&A folks on our team. So we do understand from a business perspective. And you will get a dedicated team. So there'll be a subset of that larger team that is assigned to our clients to help onboard them and then provide support for them for the duration of the agreement. We do operate as a cohesive team. We have daily huddles every day, hence the name daily. But we meet every morning, talk about our clients, the workload, if anybody has issues with anything or needs to hand off work, we cover that in our daily huddles. And then in the event that we have a task or an issue that has come up and it's something that's a complex issue, we do have our delivery team, the delivery practice, that we can flex and open a line of communication with them to get help from them. So we definitely try to resolve, I would say 90% of our tickets and tasks we resolve on our own, and then a few of those we do reach out to other team members at US Analytics. The processes, again, this is over time tested, kind of what we've built over the years, but we do have a requirements gathering session when we're prospecting with a client to figure out what needs they have. First, what technologies they have, then what needs they have. Are there any tasks that your team is doing that we can absorb from you? So maybe they're doing something that's not really value add, we'll take that on. We also talk about what pain points you might have. And then once we sign an agreement, we talk about the detailed onboarding process. And that's really where we get a deep technical review of your environment, your application, including calcs, how your metadata is built out, data coming upstream, downstream, etc., processes. And we usually end our onboarding process, which is about a 30-day process. We end with a RACI that's agreed upon. And so everyone knows when we start on the agreement, we know what tasks we own, what tasks the client's going to own, what types of tickets we might be looking out for, etc. And then we also talk about proactive tasks that we would cover for you. I'll go in more detail on that on one of the pie slices. We do track tickets. We review those for process improvements or training opportunities. For example, if we see a lot of tickets where someone's trying to connect to SmartView and they get the same issue, every time, we may come up with a one-page document for your users to say, this is how you connect, and these are some tips and tricks that the user might be able to do to help themselves to reserve some of the time and hours from the support contract. So we do look for training opportunities to help your users. Another thing that's really important, and I wanted to call this out because I hear this from a lot of clients, is when we talk about the client admin guides, whether they be technical or functional, we do keep those fresh, meaning if there's modifications to your environment and the documentation needs to be updated, we do that. And of course, that's your documentation, so you'll always have the fresh and latest admin guide. We also do net promoter scores so that we can improve. We want to make sure that our offering is strong, and we all have areas where we can improve. So that's a little bit on our process. And then our third pillar is tools. So one of the things that I'll talk about is a sophisticated automation tool that's been built in-house. It's automation framework, and it allows us or the client, or we put it in the client's environment, a way to automate backups, manage logs, run or schedule processes, anything that's automation. If you can do something more than one time, likely it's something that you want to automate. Another tool that we use is our client portal. This portal will allow our clients to open requests with us. They can select the severity of it, if it's something that needs to be done in the next 24 hours. If you have a SEB 1 system down, we see that right away. We can address that for you with you. We also have a robust internal collaboration system. And how we've built it out, it's very easy to get in touch with the right people at the right time. Again, we have access to Oracle and OneStream, since some of our support team members have worked previously at Oracle. We know some on the development team, and so in the case that we need to reach out to really detailed people that know the application or the system inside and out, we have connections to those folks. And then one thing, we'll do a quarterly newsletter for our clients and let them in on tips and tricks that we see or that we want to share that information. And then finally, this is important, discounted training classes. So you can always reach out to your account manager and find out what you can line up what your needs are, training needs of your team, and get training from US Analytics. So next I want to talk about our managed support offerings. And we have started this managed support services wheel. And the first item on the wheel is automation and integration. And so as I mentioned, this automates backups, manages logs. We could update metadata in an automated format, data loads, calc scripts. We also can monitor nightly backups. And the nice thing about this tool, as I mentioned, this proprietary tool, it's web enabled. So you can monitor your tasks or logs or whatever it is that we establish, you can monitor that from a web enabled dashboard. Then as we move into the analytics data insight, this is a little bit new of an offering, but some of the things that we do, for example, model data for complex aggregations in the RPD layer. We can also provide insights on your data. And my co-presenter, Nair, she will probably talk more about data and looking at trends in your information. And finally, our support team can act as one of your financial analysts. Okay, as I move on to the infrastructure pie piece, this is probably the oldest official support offering and the one that's most traditional that people think of when they think of managed services or managed IT support. It's really the on-premise environment. And so what we do this based on your cadence that you request, and we talk about that in the onboarding. But we find out how often do you want us to review your environment. Some clients want it monthly, some want it quarterly. We also apply critical patches when those are released. We refresh environments. I also wanted to note that for those that have moved onto a cloud environment, we do have some folks in our infrastructure team that would refresh your environments. So that's something maybe that your business folks may or may not either care to do. That's one of those things that may not be value add, is to refresh your dev or QA environment. And so we can put that on the calendar and take that task off your plate. And finally, troubleshooting, as always, that's where maybe an Active Directory gets disconnected or whatnot. And so our team is trained and can solve those problems quickly. Administration, this is actually where I spent most of my time in my career, in the administration of the applications. So this is probably my favorite slice of the pie, but this is where we're updating metadata, helping with data load mappings, creating artifacts, calc scripts, business rules, creating or modifying cube views if we're talking about OneStream, updating security, creating users or groups and putting users in those, etc. And then also troubleshooting data issues. We can assist with that if maybe you don't have a business administrator that maybe they're out, they can open a ticket with us and we can help track that down, help troubleshoot. And then the business support, this is sort of new in the last couple of years. We've really kind of defined this pie piece specifically, but this is around providing business support to our clients. And so where you might have a functional administrator performing these tasks, like opening an accounting period or running initial consolidations or, opening the year or, different type of accounting tasks, those things can be handled by our team. For those that are on a planning and forecasting environment application, we can prepare the application for your team for scheduled forecasts, planning activities. A lot of times it's probably built with substitution variables. So more likely than not, we'll be updating the variables and just preparing it. But in the case that it's not really been developed or designed that way, using dynamics, options like subvariables, we might suggest that to you when we're doing our review. And then other tasks as requested. And I highlight this because a few of our clients that we've had, actually in 2019, we had a few instances where the business administrator at the client had to take an unexpected time off. And in those instances, those functional administrators reached out to us and let us know, we have a task. It is not an Oracle task, but would you be able to fill in for me, while I'm out for a funeral? They document the task, run it through with us, and then we actually handle those activities for them while they're on PTO. So anyway, I like to call that out, that we, can be there for your team for any level of support that's needed. And then the last pie is reporting, and this is where I hand off to my colleague, Nair, and I will hand this off to you, Nair, for reporting.
Okay, so, as a part of our managed services, we've got what we call RAS, reporting as a service, and this is something we've really seen in a huge uptick in demand for it, especially, as even our existing managed services clients, as they understand and realize that we've got these services to offer, the interest level is just, it's insane. They love it. Basically what we're doing is we're coming in and we're helping you report. The main purpose for these systems is being able to have a good, reliable output to provide to management or regulatory requirements or whoever it may be, but you want to get good data out of the system, and we're here to help you do that. We've got a lot of technologies that we support. Some of the more common ones that we come across are FR Studio, or the equivalent on the web, on the cloud, the financial reporting web. There are a lot of people who like to just do their reporting out of Excel using the Smart View or OneStream add-ins, or even just, there are people who today still are doing just reporting out of Excel with pivot tables and things like that. OBIE, OAC, OAS, Tableau, Power BI, Cube View reporting straight out of OneStream. There's a large variety of reporting tools out there today, and we're here to support you across various platforms. The use cases that we have today they vary, right? You might have somebody who wants us to take on the complete life cycle of reporting. Can you handle all of it? Develop the reporting packages, manage the automations, keep the upkeep, all of it, and we can do that. There are people who want just break fix responses, right? Okay, this isn't pulling through correctly. We just added this new section. Help us. How do we get it incorporated across our reports? We had a new acquisition. How do we integrate it? things like that. You know, so just help us fix what we've got today already, but we can't get it to pull the numbers that we're expecting. You might have a loss of a financial analyst. We've had interest for this recently, where there's a loss of a financial analyst or the reporting developer, and they need us on short term. Hey, can you fill this in for us? It could also be long term, you know, staff augmentation. Can you just assist us in getting it there? We can handle the basics, but we want to hand off the complex stuff to you. Or it could just be, you know, we want to revamp things. We want a collaborative process. Let's talk through this. Let's walk through this. How should we handle our reports? So there are a lot of use cases, and you know, we also have what we call our analytics and data insight group, right? So it falls under the reporting services, and essentially it's, you know, we're an extension of your team, right? We take first pass at your reporting stuff. Hey, our balance sheet isn't in balance. Our income statement, you know, the flux is 15%. That's unusual. There's nothing a change. There's no seasonal changes or any type of fluctuation that we're aware of business-wise that would cause our numbers to dip so drastically. Things like that, you know. So we can be in there as your, you know, your first line of defense, your business analysts, taking a first look at all your reports and doing a, you know, an initial or a thorough check of your reports before we hand it off to you. So a lot of services around reporting. You know, why change up now, right? Maybe you had a new CFO or CEO come in and they want to revamp everything, right? They want to, I don't like how this is reported. These numbers don't come together right. I want some different KPIs I want to look at. You know, and they just want to go at the management reporting book with a chainsaw. I mean, that happens quite frequently. You know, changes in regulatory requirements, right? You know, you've got US GAAP changes, IFRS changes that roll through, and okay, hey, help us get our reports built so we can do the proper disclosures, things like that. You might just have old stale reports. You know, I've had this where a company had the same report for 20 years, and they finally decided, hey, it's time that we freshen this up. You know, come in and let's revamp our reporting. Help us revamp it. You might just have stuff that's left over from an implementation process. You had a relatively recent implementation, stuff got delayed, put on the back burner, and you never got the reports that you really wanted to see to come out of the system. Or it could just be ongoing maintenance. So a variety of reasons and across a variety of different platforms, we're here to help. You know, we've got the staff, right? You know, as I believe Scott's mentioned it and Jennifer's mentioned it too. We've got the staff that's equipped with business knowledge and with IT knowledge. So, you know, we're certified. We're certified in various different tools, technologies, businesses, and you know, this is what we do day in, day out. We're looking at reports and we're working on them. We're efficient at it. You know, it's not to say that somebody couldn't handle it, somebody else on someone's team couldn't handle it. It's just, you know, if that's not your day to day, it's going to take you a lot longer to do it. And so why not let us get in there and help you guys do it efficiently and effectively? We can provide guidance. You know, like I said, we've got several clients that we deal with across various industries, and we've got some best practices under our belt. You know, we've got, I get asked this question oh so often. Does anybody else do it this way? Have you seen it like this before? Can you help us help us, conform to the norm. And so, we're here to do that for you. We can apply kind of our insights, and our, combine our background and our influence across other companies, and help you revamp your reports as well. So we've got clients today who consider us to be vital to their monthly reporting process. And, we help them bridge the gap from, their base level GL data that's getting imported in, and journal entries and all the data that they've got going in, and the reported values going out. A lot of times auditors come in and say, bridge that gap. I don't see where you got these totals from. And so we're there to help you with all of it. We've got some case studies that we want to go over with you, just to, kind of give you a flavor of our success stories. So we're going to go over, we'll start with this one. It's a case study on Third Coast Midstream. They're a current RAS client. They had a situation where they had an acquisition and needed to revamp their cost center structure entirely, and then revamp all the reports accordingly. And that was quite the undertaking. So they reached out to us and said, hey, we really need your help with this. So not only did we go in there and in the technology itself change up their metadata and build out their structure and validate it with them, we then also built out their reports, and we went through that validation process with them as well. Okay, let's make sure our corporate cost centers are rolling through like we'd expect. Let's make sure operations are rolling through properly. And okay, well, now along with acquisition, we need to view data in a new manner. We want to roll up differently. So it was just several different things that we tackled. So they're a customer today as well. They continue to use us for their ongoing maintenance with the reports as well. So just a really good kind of flavor of the complexity of situations that we can handle with your reporting. And so next we've got Club Corp, which Jennifer is going to speak to.
Yeah, thanks, Nair. Yeah, for Club Corp, this is one where we have automation and maintenance that we're working with them for. So Club Corp has pretty much the whole suite of Hyperion tools, and they are a combination of on-premise and PBCS. And the situation was they initially hired us to do on-premise managed support services. So maintaining their HFM and ARM, and they had a few S-based cubes that were on-premise. So we were supporting them in that capacity. They had another firm that went and built their PBCS application for planning and forecasting. And when it came time to go live with the PBCS application, they found they needed someone to support that application. We were already supporting their on-premise apps and decided to go ahead and use us as well on the PBCS. And so that relationship has actually been growing for almost 5 years now. And we have come in and made several automation and process improvements for them overall so that all of their applications are connected. And then the next client case study is for Fossil. Fossil needed an immediate support person. They had a very skilled administrator that left Fossil. He had everything pretty much built where you just go in, flip a few variables, do a few processes at month end, and everything is a cascade effect. Everything worked automatically. But when there was an issue that came up, you did need a pretty skilled person to troubleshoot. Since everything was connected, you did need to have someone that could jump in any of the technologies that were in play. So they actually had, it was SAP to DRM to EPMA, and then on to HFM and planning and standalone SBase. So we were able to come in and support that client, and they're still a client of ours, and continue to work with them well. So that is all I have for case studies.
All righty, thank you guys. That was really informative. Before we launch the Q&A section, I'm going to launch 2 more poll questions just real quick. If you have any last minute questions that you'd like answered during the Q&A portion, go ahead and submit those now while we do these polls. Sorry, I'm going to read the questions and then I'll have Jennifer and Ayer answer as needed. So we do have a question here that says, do you have reports that are already created specific to industries?
No, and the reason that is because they're all pretty customized. So we've got what we call best practices of, here's what we see for this line of industry, and like maybe you could say like templates, or not quite the level of templates, but just snippets, I would say, of, okay, these are the type of things you'd see, but because they're across so many different reporting platforms, you can't just kind of like upload it right into your system. So it's kind of like a starting tool. We look at it and say, hey, you know, this is the kind of stuff we see for your industry. What do you like?
Okay, the next question I've got is, are you supporting staff based from offshore?
Can you read that? Was it, are you supporting clients offshore, or are you supporting?
Basically, is our staff onshore?
The majority of our staff is onshore. The majority of our staff is in the United States, actually in the Central Time Zone, although we do support West Coast and East Coast clients as well. And then we have a team in Manila that actually helps us support our 24/7 clients.
I think that's all the questions I have. All righty, guys. Well, we appreciate your time with us spent today. I will let you know that just as a reminder, we have a bunch of resources on our website. So please check us out online. You can just visit us-analytics.com/resources, and there's over 500 resources and case studies and all that on there. So, and if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out. You can email marketing, and then I can point you in the right direction. So we really appreciate y'all spending time with us today. And like we mentioned already, this webinar will be available online, and then we'll send a replay link out as well. So thank you so much to our presenters today, and thanks so much, Scott, for jumping on and talking about the company and kind of the state of managed support. We hope this was insightful, and stay tuned for our next webinar in May. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Bye-bye.